All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. What I've been doing is going over the PowerPoints and writing some code for Farrell's Microsoft C Sharp, Visual C Sharp 2015, An Introduction to Object-Oriented Programming. I've gone through all 14 chapters worth of PowerPoints, and although I didn't write any code for chapters 1 through 4, I have now written code for chapters 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, which leaves me 12, 13, and 14. Chapter 12 is on controls. And what I gleaned from here is these are the major controls that were discussed in this chapter. All right, so what I'm going to do is create myself a GUI program, and I'm not even sure right now as I'm talking to you what it's going to be on. But I want to incorporate all 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 or whatever number of things that are in here. All right. I'm hoping I didn't miss any from my list because I'm looking and I'm counting on my list. It's different. Link label, list box, combo box, checked, picture box, month, calendar, date, time, group box, panel, menu strip. Okay. Looks like they're all here. So I'm just going to, this will have to be a GUI program. So let's start it up. And we'll create a new project. In fact, before I even do that, let's do this. I'm going to make a folder for this. Okay. Well, that's fine. I'll make a folder for it later. Not sure why it's not letting me make one right now, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to do a file, new, project. This will be a Windows Form application. And I'm going to call it Chapter 12 GUI Controls. All right. And I'm just going to, for now, just put it under the desktop. So get rid of this. And say OK. All right, and there's my form. I'm going to make it pretty big because I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to put on here as of right now. And I'd like to view my Solution Explorer and also view my Properties window. So I've got those available to me. Down a bit, there we go. And as I usually do, the first thing I want to do is make some changes in here, such as the name is kind of silly, is Form 1, so I'm going to call it Form GUI Controls. And for the text that's in here, I know it's in here somewhere. There it is. We're going to put in Chapter 12 GUI control examples. All right, that's good. As I always do, I'm going to change the color of the form because I don't like the default color. And I think we've used most everything that's in here, but let's try that kind of aqua. That'll be fine. So, first thing we'll do, even though we've done this on virtually all of our programs before, let me do a view toolbox. Okay, that's good. And that'll be to add my 3 buttons that we've typically been adding in here. All right. Now we may end up, like I said, I'm doing this all off the top of my head, so we may end up adding more. I don't know. But the first one, as we have typically done here, we'll just call this button Calculate. We may have more than one Calculate button by the time we get done, so we'll see. That was not good. Button Calculate. I think that's correct now. And for the text, we'll make it Calculate. All right. Button 2, the text will be clear. And the name of the button will be Button Clear. And our last one, the name will be Button Exit. And finally, the text on here will be exit. So we've got all that stuff done. All right, it's a good start. And you know what? I'm just going to click my exit button right away and put in my application.exit. So I've got that available to me. That's good. So that's done now. Let's see. So on my list, as I finish things, I'm just going to tab over here and put 3 X's in there, meaning I'm checking them off. All right, so the next thing I want to do is a checkbox. All right, so we'll put in a checkbox, but let's see if we can add a few of the other things in here. So one of the things I want to put in here is a group box. And I'm just going to throw it, we'll throw it right there, that's good. All right, I'm going to put some text on it because group box 1 is kind of stupid. Let's see. We're going to put in here favorite sport. Like I said, I'm doing this off the top of my head, so we'll see how it works. All right, so there's favorite sport. Good. And I'm going to put in here, I'm going to put in some check boxes. And let's put into 5, if we can fit that many. 2, 3, 4. We'll make this a little bit wider here. It should be good. And 5. That looks good. All right. Just so you can see what we've done so far, I'm just going to run this, and it's not going to look very nice. But there it is. Okay? Okay. So, first thing, and the exit button should be functional. Good. So the first thing, I've got favorite sport here, and it looks like, yeah, I put favorite sport. So let's call this, we'll kind of call them what they are. So the text here will be, how about here, football. In fact, let's do them in alphabetic order. We don't have to do that, but let's do them in alphabetic order anyway. So baseball. All right. And the name will be checkbox baseball. All right. Our second one here will be named checkbox basketball. And as you'd guess, the text will be basketball. All right. The third one here, the text will be football. And as you've already probably guessed, the name will be checkbox football. All right. The fourth one, the name will be checkbox hockey. And the text will be hockey. And finally, our last one, the text will be soccer. And the name will be checkbox soccer. All right, so those are all done. We don't need it to be nearly this wide, so let's cut it way down so it looks nicer. All right. Let's do kind of a typical one that you would do. I'm going to use a panel now. And the difference between a panel and one of the differences, at least, between a panel and a group box is with a panel, as you'll see in just a minute, you don't have a place in there where you can put some text like that. All right. So I'm going to move this over. And we're going to put in here a couple radio buttons. Here's one. Looks like we got to make this a little wider. And here will be our second one. Okay. And we will call this panel. We will call this panel gender. Probably see where we're going with this. So this will be radio button female. the associated text will be female. And the next one will be, the text will be male. And the name will be radio button male. Okay. All right. Since I don't have anything above this, most people would be able to look at this and figure it out. And I realize that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down just a tad. All right. And I'll come in here and I'll actually add a label. And I'll put the label so it lines up pretty much right on the top there. So yeah, I guess it's got to go down a little bit there. Still got to go down. Well, it's going to probably look a little high, but that's okay. I want to go to the auto size and set it to false. Move this over. And in here, I'm literally going to just call this label gender. In fact, yeah, I guess gender is fine for putting in there. So gender. All right. And let's take that text and let's align it in the middle. No, not in the right, in the middle. And as we've done, you've seen this before. Let's play with the font a little bit. And we will make this bold. That's already, I think, looking nicer. And we'll make it about 10 points. All right, I like that better. Now it's pretty obvious what goes with what. Now, can I come in here and also do the same thing here? Make that 10 points for favorite sport. And also make that bold. Okay. Again, I'm liking the way that's looking because it's much easier to see. The radio buttons, I should be able to do the same thing here. In other words, I want to make the text 10 points. And I want to take the bold and set it to true. And we'll do the same thing here. 10. And we will set bold to true. There we go. All right. Now, it's not very grand or glorious right now. Let's save, run it, and double check and make sure. You know, we can check none of these, any one. If somebody does happen to like all of them, that's cool. Gender, if we say female, good. If we say male, it changes. So that all appears to be working. That's a good start. There's too much room in here, though. I don't like that at all. So I want to fix that. So we can bring that down, move that up, and move that up. This is going to look nicer, I think, when we get done in just a minute. I'm just eyeballing it. I guess I could make it better or whatever, but yeah, that doesn't look too bad right now. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at our list and see what we've done. And I have now added the checkbox, and the checkboxes are for our favorite sport. And we've also added the radio buttons, which has got the gender in there. In addition, we put in a group box. We put in a panel. All right. So we've got 13 things. And so far we've put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those 13 things. Well, that's a good start. All right, let's go in, and since we have our 3 buttons here, this might not nearly need to be as wide as I thought it was going to probably need to be. So I'm going to cut this down by quite a bit, maybe about to there. And now I'm going to move these buttons over too. We'll move them like over here for now. Again, we may even do some more maneuvering around when we get done. Now, we've got a calculate, a clear, and an exit. So I haven't put any code in there except for my exit button. So I'm going to come over to my menu strip, and I'm going to grab that and throw that up here. And we're going to keep it simple. We're only going to have top level things. And again, we'll have calculate, and we'll have clear, and we'll have exit. Now I wouldn't normally do this, but not under exit, just so we have something there. We'll put in here, we'll put in about. Okay, so that's everything. So now we have our menu structure done. Okay, the only thing is we have terrible names, which because when it gives you those names for those things, it always, I think it puts menu strip in there. So this is called calculate tool strip menu item. I don't like that at all. So we'll just call this calculate menu. All right, we'll call this one clear menu. We'll call this one exit menu. Are these upper or lowercase? Oh, that was lowercase. And that's lowercase. So that one should be lowercase as well. And finally, we've got about. Now, rather than just calling this about menu, I'm going to call this exit about menu. Okay? So, exit about menu. Because the about is underneath. All right, it's underneath the exit. Now, again, I don't have to do this, but since I have four menu options, and right now I only have 2 buttons, 3 buttons, I should say, I'm going to add another button. So I'm going to add another button in here, and I'm going to call that button about. All right, so now I've got all of my stuff done. All right. Oops, I did those backwards. So the text here, that should be about. And the button name up here, button about. Good. All right. So let's see. Right now when I click exit, I'm doing that. So I'm going to remove that. And I'm just going to type in there, quit. Okay. And you say, what is that? We're going to add that in just a minute. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go down to my exit and double click on that. So right below that, this will also say quit. All right. And private void quit. And that's just going to have our application.exit. All right. Let's just keep going here and see if when we run this, when we click there, do we exit? Yes. When we click there, do we exit? Yes. Okay, so those are done. All right. So we've got all that done. Again, we're making some progress here. So I want to come in here and now under my, I don't want to do the about, I want to do the about button first. Okay, I'm going to call give program info. All right, we're going to write that in just a minute. So then we'll do the same thing from here. Give program info. All right, and then private void give program info. So we're going to write that right now. And we'll just put in, for right now, we'll put in a message box. .show. And we'll put in here, whoops, I don't want that to be empty. We'll put in here program demoing chapter 12 GUI controls. Okay. All right. CH12 GUI control demo. That's going to be our title. And then we'll put in here just an about, or sorry, just an OK button. And here, this will be for the icon, that'll be info. Okay. Is that everything? I don't think we need this. Do we? There. All right. All right, not like this is anything fantastic, like I said. Why do we have that there? Oh. Let's run it again. And now we should be able to go to under our exit, we should be able to go to About, Program Demoing Chapter 12 GUI Controls. Okay, that's good. And I can click here and get the same thing. Well, that's good. All right. So, again, that didn't really add anything or remove anything, I should say, from our list. I don't think. We haven't added anything yet. Let's put in a link label next. So I'm going to stop the run here. All right. Let's see. Link label. I don't work much with link labels, but let's just put it in there anyway, and we'll see what it does. All right, since it's a label, we'll have to go to the auto size. And set it to false. All right, and we want to change the text on here, which now says link label 1. I'm just going to make it say Rankin Technical College. All right, and I have to stretch it out even more so that fits. There we go. All right. And again, what I might want to do is monkey with the font on here a little bit because it's not very big. So let's make this quite a bit bigger. We'll make that 12-point font, and we'll have to stretch it out again, and that's fine, but we won't bold it. Okay, there we go. Now, there should be something in here. Text align. Well, there's got to be something in here that when we click it, it's going to let us go someplace. We'll call this link label. I'm just going to call it RTC for Rankin Technical College. All right. Use logic. Text align text. Okay. Let's go back over, and I don't have that up right now, but I'm going to bring it up. And that is, and I'll have to search for it. So that was in Chapter 12. I've got to find my link label stuff because I'm just spacing right now as to how I actually fill that up, so. All right. Similar to a label provides the additional capability to link the user to another website. The method who shall, when you double click the control, you're most likely to alter with control. The event, they encounter the control in a working application. So active link color, link visited link color. So we could play with those. That's almost like using CSS, but we don't really need to do that. Generates a click event, executing the link clicked method. All right, so we need to put in this, it looks like, and that is, we need to say something along the lines of system.diagnostics.process.start http://www.rankin.edu. We're going to try that and see whether or not it works. If it doesn't, I'll come back because I'm doing this, as mentioned, kind of off the top of my head, which probably isn't the best of ideas. So I'm going to double click on the link, and that brings this up. So now I'm going to try to put that in, see if that gave me any kind of error. Dot start, just so you can see it. Okay, so let's save here. Let's run the program. Take my mouse, put it over here, it turns to the hand. If I click, it brings up the Rankin website. Okay, well that's good. That's what we wanted to have happen, so let's exit. We can now cross another one off of our list because we've now put in a link label. Okay? All right. So, what do we have left in our list? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things done. And looking at them kind of in order. Oh, we also did the menu strip. So we've got 7 things done here. 7 down, 6 to go. So the next one is list box. So let's add a list box to what we're working on. All right. And I think I'm going to move this down. I'm going to see if I can move this over. Okay. This might end up being about the final size when we get all done. I may add some more stuff. I may have to make it bigger. There's no biggie. All right. Here's our list box. Okay. And we're going to call this list box programs. All right. And I'm going to put in here, notice if I click edit items, I can actually add the stuff that I want in there. So, are we still running the Rankin website? Is that still up and running? Okay. So, let's see. Let's put in this. Programs offered at Rankin Technical College, Wentzville. Rankin Technical College. It searches Wentzville. Again, weird stuff is happening with my mouse. Well, I'll make some stuff up, okay? We'll do that. I don't want to waste my time or yours going through this. So I'm going to put in here application, web development, network technology, automotive, diesel, trucking. Let's see if I can think of a couple more. HVAC. I want to have about 7. So, BSET. I'm not even sure exactly what that stands for, but we'll put in here system administration. All right. So notice when I click OK, those are all in there. Okay, that's good. I'm going to have to widen this out. I can tell by looking at it already. Okay, and let's do the same kind of thing that we've been doing to make this show a little bit better. In other words, I want to go over to my font, change the font. 12 is probably going to be very big, but that's still okay. We can make that bigger. That's okay. And again, we'll make it bold. All right. Now, you may or may not have noticed on here, let's see. There is a feature that's down here that you may or may not be able to tell that's called sorted. If I set it to true, bingo. Now all my programs are in sorted order. All right. So let me grab this. I'm going to pull this down a little. I'm going to grab my gender label that I had right there. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to click down here and I'm going to paste. And I'm going to call this That looks pretty well centered. Okay, so I'm going to call this label. This will be called label programs. And it's going to say programs. All right. And I want to let the user pick more than one program. So when we click inside of here, there should be a multi-select. It's multi-column. It's part of the problem when you do things like this off the top of your head. So multi-column. Selection mode. Right now it's set to 1. Let's have it set to multi-extended. And we're going to change this. I'm going to drag this so it's over, and that's over. Whoops. And I'm going to change this from programs, which is fine for the name of it, but I'm going to change this to programs of interest. So in other words, which program or programs are you interested in? Okay? The favorite sport is kind of goofy right now. It doesn't really go much with the rest of it, but that still is all right. So let's see, what else could we put there? I don't know. There's probably something, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is right now. All right, so looking at our list, we've now added a list box. So what do we have left? We've got 8 of our 13 things. We now want a combo box in here. And I am, as you can see, I'm going to have to make this wider than it is. So let's see. Let's see what it says in here about a combo box. Adding color, checkbox, radio buttons, picture box. We're going to do that in a minute. One thing that this just literally just hit me right here is rather than gender, we're going to change that from gender. All right, we're going to change that to campus. All right, and that's also going to say here, oh, that was interesting, campus. What did I change down here? Text, it says gender. We want it to say campus, but that's under tag now. This should say campus. All right, and we'll put a colon there because we put it after, we won't. We put one here, but we can remove that if we want to. So this one will say, for text, this one will say St. Louis. And we'll change the name of that to Radio Buttons St. Louis. And the next one will say Wentzville. We may have to widen that out a bit. No, it fits. Good. All right, so we've got campus. I'm trying to think of something I can put there. Okay, this is going to be kind of strange, but we're going to change a bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to change this from favorite sport. I don't want the group box. I want this. Yeah, we'll do the group box first. So we'll call this group box. We never named that, but we'll call this group box time. Okay? And we're going to say time attending. All right, I'm gonna have to widen that out a little bit, I guess. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna change this. So this will now become checkbox mornings. Again, I'm trying to make this where it would actually be something that sort of all makes sense. All right, and goes together. So now we've got mornings, afternoons, evenings, and we'll call this one weekends. No, we don't really offer anything during the weekend, but that's fine. We'll just do it that way anyway. So weekends, and this will also be weekends. Okay. Now, I don't want this last one in here now, and that's going to allow me to take this and cut the size down a bit. That looks fine. Let's take both of these and move these up a little. All right. So I now have my time attending, my campus, and I got all, oopsie, got all that stuff. Let's draw my lasso around here and move this. Why is it doing that? Oh, it's because it's inside of that group box. That's fine. We'll leave it the way it is. That's fine. So we've got time attending, campus, programs of interest, Rankin. This is our, we'll move this up to the top. Okay. And we'll move that down and this down. Group boxes are kind of a weird thing because when you move the group box, you want to make sure that not only do you handle the group box, but you also highlight everything inside of it because it's now a unit. So now when I move it, it should all move. That's good. And I wasn't doing that before. That's why it worked a little funky like. Panels should be the same way. So I click on the panel, then I click on the both things that are inside the panel and oopsie. Boy, oh boy. Control C. And now I should be able to move everything together. Right, I'll move this down. All right, move that down. All right, it's sort of coming together. So we've got now the website, the time you want to attend, the campus you want to attend, your programs of interest. All right, so can I cross anything else off my list? No, we need a combo box, then a checklist box. I'll tell you what, let's do this. We're just going to replicate this right here, but we're going to do it as a checked list box. All right, so it's going to look basically in the inside. The elements that are in there are going to look the same as the other ones, which is kind of dumb, but just so I can demonstrate the checked list box to you. All right, I'm going to grab this label and I'm going to copy it over to here. Looks okay. Up a bit. Again, this is not, it's very, very, very far from perfect. So we'll call this one was label programs 1, and this one will be called label programs 2. All right, I'm going to go back into this, and where I put in all that stuff, the edit items, I'm going to highlight it all again. Control and then copy. Then I'm going to come in here and see if I can just drop it in. Okay. All right. like we did before, I want to see, this is my checklist box, and we're just going to call that programs. All right, as we did before, and as I have been doing, I'm going to come in and set the size to 12 and make it bold. All right, got to be a little wider. As you can see, I cut the T off of, there we go. All right, again, this is, as I mentioned, this is so far from perfect, but it's getting there, okay? So what do we have from our list? We now have put in a checklist box, and it just hit me. For what we're going to do next, we're going to do the picture box in just a second. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put the picture box right here, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a small picture in there of either the Rankin St. Louis campus or of the Rankin-Wentzville campus. And the picture that I put in there will be predicated upon which campus button I click. So if I click this button, I want the St. Louis campus in here. If I click this button, I want the Wentzville campus to go in there. All right, so let me grab this and drag it down a bit. Good. Copy this. Okay. And this will be called label campus picture. Okay. And for the text, we'll put campus photo or something like that. All right. Oh, the one thing is that this programs of interest, I don't want that colon in there, so now that one's gone, and let's get rid of it here too. All right, this is coming together. Okay. Now, normally what we've done, or what we would do, is we would put a picture in there right now. And there is a thing over here that's called image. And notice if I click that, it allows me to put in an image. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I don't want anything to be set until I click one of these buttons. All right. But I am going to do something we haven't done before, and that is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to right mouse click, and I'm going to choose add, and I'm going to choose new folder. And I'm going to call this images. All right. And then I'm going to go out to Google. And under Google, I'm going to go to Google Images, and I'm going to type in Rankin Technical College campus. See if there's a picture of the St. Louis campus in here. That one will work, and so will that one for Wentzville. So right mouse click, save picture as. I'll just, for now, I'm going to just save it to my desktop. And I'm going to call that one St. Louis.ping. And then on this one, I'm going to right mouse click, save picture as, and I'm going to call this Wentzville.ping. All right, so those are done. So what I want to do now is I want to come in here, and in my images folder, I want to do a right mouse click, add existing item, go to my desktop, find my pictures. I thought that's where I saved them. Don't look like that's where I saved them. All right. According to that, I saved it to the desktop. Let's look. Let me just close that for now. Do I have have those pictures here? I don't see them. So I'm going to go back and resave them. All right. Change that again to campus. Right mouse click on here. Save image as. It says desktop. Huh. We'll call this Wentzville. I notice now it's a JPEG, whereas previously it was a ping. So Wentzville.jpg, and it should be under the desktop. So that should be there. And this one will save the image as, and again it's a JPEG, but we're going to call that St. Louis. All right, so hopefully those are there. There they are. Okay, there and there. There's a siren going by my apartment complex, so if you hear anything, that's what it is. All right, so right mouse click, add existing item. I want to go to the desktop. And I think that might have been here all the time. I want to change this to all files. So they may have been here previously. That's okay. So St. Louis JPEG, and you can see it's in there. Right mouse click again, add existing item, all files, and Wentzville.jpg. So those are in there. Okay? All right. Okay, let's see. We're going to have to put some code in to actually make that magic happen. So we'll worry about that in just a minute. But I have now put in my picture box. So you can see again, this is coming together. I've got to put in, I've got 10 of my 13 things in here. All right. So we'll put a calendar next. Again, I'm going to move this out a bit and find the monthly calendar. There it is. Okay. Let's grab this. Copy. Copy. And paste. Campus photo, we'll call this label visit 1. All right. And we'll change the text here to schedule a visit. Okay. And let's see. So we now have our month calendar. I want to quick put in a date time picker. Put that over here. Okay. We're going to call this label visit 2. And we're going to say here confirmed visit date. Okay. So what do we have left? I think just the combo box. So I now have put in out of these 13 things 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And let's see. Well, one thing I want to do first of all is move these over so they look a little bit more. That looks better. They're in line, so to speak, a little bit more. All right. Let's see what they say here for. I know what a combo box is, but I want to see how they talk about it in here. So I don't want to talk about layout. Color, link, label, font, generated code, controls. Well, when in doubt, let's go to MS. Well, let's Google it because we'll find it from there. So I'm going to Google C# combo box example. And using the combo box controller, the Microsoft Developer Network. Let's see. Drop down, simple. Okay, we're going to use the style 0, and let's see. So I'm going to put that combo box right there. Okay. And I'm going to put here we'll call that label current state. Okay. And we'll call this currently residing in, oops, I don't want that. Currently residing in, okay. So in here, let's edit some items. So let's put in here, oh, I don't know. We'll put in Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Iowa. We'll just leave it at that. We'll put in one more. Indiana. All right. So that's what's currently in there. And we'll also set the sorted property to true. All right. And let's see, let's change, make sure that name is set because it's not. Call that combo box current state. Okay, so it's far from being over, but let's take a look at what we have when we run this right now. Can I come in here and also play with the font? This is going to look way too big probably, but that's okay. So 12 point. Doesn't look like it's really letting me change that. Can I change the bold? Didn't want that either. So I wasn't able to change that. Can I change this? The font in here to 12 point and to bold. So that one I can change. Okay, I know I can change. Let's see. Can I make all of these 12? Again, I like it to be a little bit symmetrical. It's coming. It's coming. No, that's too wide. Oh, no, it's not. If you look in there, instead of putting in 12, now it says 1210, which would be too big. All right. visit date. 12. Currently residing in 12. All right. I just want to run this and see really what it looks like. But before we do, I will save. I'm going to grab everything that I've got in here and lock its location in. All right. I'm not going to worry for right now, but I might later about the tab order. But right now I don't care. I do want to set for this my accept button to calculate and my cancel button to clear. All right. Okay. I'm going to click on this. I am going to unlock this. I like that better. So now these line up. Same thing with this. Okay, this is a little crunched, but that still is okay. What I should do is just grab all this and move it. But that's going to be too much work, so we'll just leave it there. In fact, let's do this. Let's leave everything where we have it. Let's unlock everything. Okay, then don't. We'll unlock this. And I'm going to move this so it's right up near the top. Move all of it now. Yes. Okay. Sort of coming together. Doesn't look terrible. I lost my lock there. I don't know why. Those are now all locked. Okay. This is now going to be too narrow because I want that also to be 12 point. Yeah, I knew that would happen, so I'm going to have to unlock this. Okay. Again, it doesn't look terrible at all. At least I don't think it does. But I'll tell you what I am going to do in just a second. I'm going to break this up into two different presentations. Okay, so I'm going to relock this. All right, I'm going to do one or two more things and we're going to stop for part one here. I'm going to click on here, go down to Windows Start Position for my form. My form, what's highlighted now? No. Let's save. it's not finding some of the stuff from my form. This is a nice time to break for right here. So when I run this, this is currently what it looks like. Okay? And we're going to come back. That's good. And continue on this in just a few minutes.